All right, today it is 4/11/22. Our objective today is solving x squared equations. Okay, solving x squared equation. Okay. Now that you're taking notes, you can put that phone away from me, please, because we're going to try, right? Now, always, when you see an x squared, there's always two answers. You see an x cubed, there's three answers. An x to the fourth, four answers. It's just that easy. X squared, there's always two answers. Now, so before I start this, the way to solve this equation, like any equations, we always do the opposite. Opposite operation. Opposite operation. I think you know how to do this. I think this is very easy. So if I have an x squared, if I'm going to square something, the opposite operation of squaring some number would be what? Square root. It's that easy. Today it's that easy. So if I take the square root of an x squared, it just cancels it out. If I take the square root of an x squared, they're opposite operations. It just cancels out. But of course, like any equation, what you do on one side, you have to do on the other side. We know the square root of 25 is what? 5. Now, I want two answers. I need two answers. Now, 5 makes sense, right? Okay. Just need room. Okay, so then the square root is 5, but also negative 5. Also negative. So think about this. Negative 5 times negative 5. It's negative 5 times negative 5. Positive 5. So you're going to have a 5 and a negative 5. So the answer is going to be 5 and negative 5. Okay?
So is that always your answer, just the positive and the negative?
Yeah, in fact, Scott, I like to write it like this. And you'll see that periodically. It means both, positive 5 and negative 5. You guys plus minus 5? What do you think? Pretty simple? All right, example 2. What do you think about example 2? Well, let's just go ahead and try and solve it. I've got a bunch of numbers, so I'm going to go first plus 49 to both sides, plus 49, right? I'll have a 4x squared equals a 49. That makes sense. We agreed, just like solving regular equations. Divide by 4, divide by 4x squared equals. Now, here's something I might want to think about, okay? Before I do the next step, okay? Because I'm thinking, well, I just get my calculator and go 49 divided by 4. You could. But I see two numbers that I like. Why do I like these numbers? Because I can square root that and square root that. So I'm just going to leave it. I'm going to leave it like that. So I'm going to take the square root. I'll get 7 over 2. Do you see that? So I'm going to leave that the way it is. So again, we're going to undo it. So we do the opposite operation. So we square root, square root both sides, square root both sides. And we get the square root of 49 is 7. And the square root of 4 is 2. But two answers, right?
Wait, so why do you not keep the 4? Oh, wait, never mind. Yeah, I got it. Sorry.
You got it? No, you're good. Okay. So then I'm going to say x equals plus or minus 7 halves. I mean, or 3.5 or 3.5. All of those answers are correct. But I have two answers, don't I? Okay. Thumbs up. Does this seem easier than what we've been doing? Okay, example 3. What do you think? Plus 54. Does that make sense? Plus 54. 2x squared equals 54. Divide by 2. Divide by 2. X squared equals 27. Okay, well, all right, 27. I'm going to square root both sides to get rid of the square, right? Now, 27 is not a perfect square, but we can break it down. We can reduce it like we've been doing before. We'll rewrite as square root of 9, square root of 3, right? So I want to reduce this. Reduce my root, reduce root. So I reduced 27 to square root of 9, square root of 3, right? We've been doing this for like a couple of weeks. Square root of 9 is 3. Square root of 3. Two answers though, right? You guys agree? Two answers? So I'm going to say plus or minus 3 square roots of 3. All right. Am I doing okay? Thumbs up?
Is it x squared though, or is it just x?
It's just x. And great question, because when I did this, I'm glad you asked. See this right here? It canceled that out, didn't it? Okay. Now, how about number 4? What are we going to do? Minus 25 minus 25. 4x squared equals negative 25. Awesome. I agree with that.
Could you also do the square, taking out the square, like, instead of minus 7.25
You can't because of the plus, but you can right now. I could square root both sides right now. Scott, a good question. I could, but I could do it. I'm going to divide by 4 first, but right now I could have, okay? Divide by 4, divide by 4, x squared equals negative 25 over 4. And then what? And then what? Square root. Yeah, we have square root, square root. Now, here's a problem. I don't know about you guys, but there is a major problem, okay? Major problem. You can't do that. Yeah, you can't do that. Why can't you do that? What times what makes negative 25?
Positive.
Yeah, that's not a square, right? Is 5 times 5 negative 25? Is negative 5 times negative? So wait a minute, this is weird. Let me check this out on my calculator. If I do this, okay, square root negative 25. Non-real answers. So here's what we need to know. Little note, square root of a negative number, no solution. So anytime we take the square root of a negative number, there's no solution. So right here we're just saying no answer, no solution. Cannot take the square root of a negative number. No solution at all.
Yeah, I like that.
You like that answer? No solution. There's no answer. Okay, so let's move on to 5. Okay, plus 1, right? Plus 1. I've got a 9x squared equals 1. And then what? Divide by 9, divide by 9. And I've got x squared equals 1/9, right? I'm going to leave it in this form because I see. Do you guys see something? Yeah, so we just get 1/3, right? Don't we get 1/3? X equals 1/3. And then the big question is 2 answers. I need 2 answers, so have to have 2 answers, plus or minus. I got positive 1/3 and a negative 1/3, okay? How am I doing? Are doing okay? Good. Example 6. Am I going too fast or am I doing okay? Okay, so let's go plus 1. 3x squared equals 75, right? That makes sense. Divide by 3, x squared equals 25, right? Oh, this gets easy. Square root of 20, square root, right? This, yeah, it's exactly like the first question. It's how many answers? 2, so it's plus or minus 5. Totally right, Scott. Plus or minus 5. I agree. Thumbs up. I think this is easier than what we've been doing. You guys agree with that? Thanks, Grace. Grace is with me. Okay, turn the page. Okay, now, these are a little bit different, but not hard. Not hard. These are a little bit different because we have to take the square root first. You can't go plus 4. Don't do this. You can't go plus 4 because it's inside. So what I want to do is get rid of the square. So to get rid of the square, well, I just do the opposite operation. I'm going to take the square root of both sides first, okay? What's that going to do? Well, it's going to get rid of the square. The square root is the opposite operation of the square. They cancel each other out. And I'm just left with a x minus 4. I don't need the parentheses. I don't need the parentheses. In fact, I'm going to drop the parentheses in a second. Equals what's the square root of 81? Square root of 81? Square root of 81? 9. And negative 9. So I need two answers, don't I? I said always two answers. So here's how this works. Actually not that difficult. It's like our mini equations. It's just like our mini equations. X minus 4 equals 9 and x minus 4 equals negative 9. And then it's pretty simple. But I needed two answers. So I got my two mini equations, plus 9 minus 9. I'm going to solve here. I'm going to go plus 4, x equals 13, right? Plus 4, x equals negative 5. Boom! Not too bad? All right, example 9. We're getting close to the end. All right, I got all these numbers. Oh, it's a mess. I want to clean up this mess. So let's clean up the mess. So I've got a bunch of extra numbers. Let's just try and get rid of some of these numbers. The first thing I'll do is go plus 27 because that'll get rid of that first, okay? Plus 27, so all these extra numbers. Let's get rid of the extra numbers. So I have a 3 times the quantity of x plus 5 squared equals 27, okay? I'll divide by 3, Okay, I'm getting rid of all my extra numbers. I'll have an x plus 5, quantity squared equals 9, okay? And then what? I cannot go minus 5. Yep. Totally right. Thanks, Scott. Don't go minus 5 because inside. Scott's right. To get rid of this expression, we have to get rid of the square, so we square root both sides. Totally right. The square root is the opposite operation. The square cancels out, so then I got an x plus 5 equals 3. But I need two answers, don't I? I need.
Why can't you subtract 5?
You can't.
Not, but like after you take out the
From right here?
square root, I mean the square.
He means like minus 5.
Yeah, I can. I'm gonna go minus 5. I am, Scott, totally right. But to get two answers, how are we gonna get the second answer? I completely agree. To get two answers, how am I gonna get the second answer? Tave, what do you think?
Minus 5?
Yeah, I am gonna go x minus 5, but let's go back to this. What's the square root of 9?
3.
And negative 3.
So 3 and negative 3.
So that's why I like to do the plus or minus. Does that make
Yeah,
sense?
so why is the one above it different numbers?
Did
Why
I?
is number 8 2 different numbers?
Well, watch. This one will be 2. Okay? So I got an x plus 5 equals a 3 and an x plus 5 equals a negative 3. I'll go minus 5, and I get x equals negative 2. There's one answer. Minus 5, x equals negative 8. Scott, let me go back to,
So
yeah.
down there where it says x plus 5 equals positive 3 down, why can't you just add the 5 to the other side and then it would be x equals positive 8 and negative 8?
Ah, okay, let's go back up to this one. Okay, can help you. Let me stop recording for just a second. Let me go back.